Mississippi statute regarding open public meetings. Notice of this meeting was legally advertised in the Carrier Post and the South Jersey Times, as well as posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Fire exits are located through the double doors to your left and right. Please silence all mobile devices. This meeting is being videotaped. Anyone who does not wish to be seen on television may be excused. This will be shown on Channel 9 every week. Sunday at 9 p.m., Wednesday at 7 p.m., Friday at 10 p.m., Saturday at 10 p.m. will continue to the next meeting. You can also see us on our YouTube, where we're also doing a live stream. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, we're on.
All right, perfect.
I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Council Vice President Brown?
Here.
Councilman Harris?
Here.
Councilwoman Pasqualone?
Here.
Councilman Yerkes?
Present.
Council President Mr. Deverollo?
Here.
Mayor Delakia?
Here.
Mr. Russo? Mr. Rooney?
Present.
Okay, moving on to presentations. We're going to have a presentation by Frank Altamiro from our Public Works and Brian McCaffrey.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Just want to touch on the storm that we just had a few weeks ago. The storm was one we experienced was one for the books. There was an unprecedented series of events that took place on January 25th. The accumulation of 8 to 9 inches of snow, the 3+ inches of ice, sleet, and freezing rain, and the extended temperatures below 32 degrees made this storm very challenging. Events come in two forms. Those we plan for, like marathons and Super Bowl parties, and those that hit us without warning, like hurricanes, wildfires, snow and ice storms. As the Director of Municipal Services, I stand by my department for the long, challenging task of snow removal. The majority of the workforce are younger and do not have many hours of experience needed to tackle this type of storm. The ice and freezing temperatures made it extremely difficult, if not impossible, to move. We also had additional contractors working in other developments in town. Of those contractors, some have experience, some do not. In conclusion, can we as a department improve? Absolutely. Do I wish we had 100 pieces of equipment? Absolutely. It's easy for people to judge or make suggestions when they are not in the truck with low visibility and cars parked in the streets. But as we move forward, we will take the lessons learned from this snow event and strive for a better result because of it. Mayor and council, I just want to thank you for your support. Brian has a few specifics also.
Thank you, Frank.
Thanks for that, Frank. And let me say, as I start, thank you all for the time you put in. I've talked to the mayor probably 10 times a day, every day for 10, 12 days straight. Pete as well. I talked to Don. I talked to Joe. Heard messages relayed from Jack, and we were trying to respond to each and every specific complaint in real time as best we could. So this isn't a speech. These are just like some notes that I wanted to kind of go over to share with the public for the benefit of anyone watching and anyone up there that has any questions about our response. So as I'm going through this spiel, it's probably going to take me 5 minutes. If at any point anyone has a question, feel free to stop me because it's not going to throw me off track, and ask for clarity or any question that you may have based on what I'm going to say. So first, I want to talk quickly about the geography of Washington Township. For those that don't know, I know everyone up here knows, but for the benefit of the people who might be watching on YouTube or in the audience that are here to for this topic, we have 700 roads in Washington Township, and we have, in addition to that, 200 courts. That is 170 miles of linear roadway spread across 21 square miles. It's a big town. To plow a road properly, you need to go up and down that road about 6 times. So you're taking that amount of linear roadway and you're multiplying that by a minimum of 6 times because it's 3 passes on each side of the road. So you do the math, we're covering thousands of miles or over 1,000 miles, traveling at no more than 10 to 15 miles an hour. So the simple point of that is this operation takes time. People call 12, 14 hours into a cleanup operation. I haven't seen a plow yet. It takes a long time. We had a video that we did prior to the storm, and I took the highlights that we touched on from that video to reiterate. We said we were going to block people's driveways. The amount of snow that we were getting, the snow has to be deposited somewhere. We can't scoop it up, lift it out of there, and make it disappear. When you plow, everything rolls off to the right side of the road, except in rare cases where you get a median in the middle or a wooded area, you can turn the plow in the other direction and put it where there are no homes. But if you have homes on both sides of the street, you have to plow from the middle outward, and the snow gets deposited along the side of the roadway, okay? It's unavoidable. We didn't want to do that, but we said it was going to happen. Second point we made in that video was it was going to take at least 20 hours to get through the town one time. When we started our full-scale plowing operation, which I'll get into in a minute, it was 1 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. We made our last pass of our first trip through town of every street at 9 a.m. the next morning. So we worked all night. And then the last point that the mayor made was we would be responding to calls and touching everything up for the entire week following this storm, which is very normal. That being said, to clear those 700 roads and 200 courts, in-house, Public Works has 18 people that responded to the call to come to work. That's everyone with the exception of 2 people on workers' compensation and 1 guy that was on vacation that was available to us. Every person that came in was in a piece of equipment from 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. When we came in at 7 a.m., we started cleaning main roads. And we did that for 5 hours, from 7 to 12. The only time there wasn't equipment on the road in Washington Township was between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. on Sunday. The guys stopped for lunch before we went into our full-scale plowing operation. After that, we had 32 subcontractors in addition to our 18 that we had available in-house. That is what we could acquire. We had a conversation in Frank's office prior to the storm to say to the subcontractor that we use, we will take every single piece of equipment you can provide us. No one on this board, not Frank, not anyone that controls the purse strings here said to me, Brian, we want you to try to cut corners and save money. We only want to spend X amount of dollars on this storm. That was never said. We asked for all the resources that we could. We put out a request for snow plowing at the end of last year. We had a contractor provide us a bid for that service, and he could only provide us with this particular storm 32 pieces of equipment. So with those 32 pieces of equipment, we also have to work within certain parameters when it comes to using the private sector. There's something called Maggie's Law. Maggie's Law, as the chief would probably be familiar with, we're only allowed to work them for 14 hours. Then they are required by law to come off the road for a period of time. In a state of emergency, the municipal employees don't abide by that. They are allowed to stretch that because it's a state of emergency. We worked the Public Works Department for 32 hours straight. A few guys came off the road at 2 in the morning that just said to me, Brian, I don't have it right now. I need a break. So they came off from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. I know this because at 7 p.m., one of our people went home sick, and I got in a plow truck. So I was out there working with them. And I can tell you some of the challenges that we experienced after midnight when it dropped down into the teens. The roads that we hadn't gotten to yet were completely frozen solid and there's no way we could have got to them faster. We had every resource that we had available to us out, making our way through the town. They started to freeze, and we could not make it down the street without lowering the plow halfway, skimming off 2 or 3, 4 inches of snow on those first 6 passes, then dropping the plows all the way down. So now a street that normally would take 6 passes was taking 12. Because if we didn't do it that way, every truck kept getting stuck. They were getting sideways. We took out a couple mailboxes because they totally slid. I've been here 27 years. The only storm I missed, I started in 97. I didn't see the blizzard of 96. This was the most challenging job we ever had to do because of the type of precipitation it was, the duration of the precipitation. It fell for 14 hours. And the extreme cold. Frank talked about below 32. It did not go above 25 degrees until last Monday, a week after it stopped snowing. You know, some of the criticism that we got, you know, I'm going to pull up something. I snapshotted a few of these, you know, things that we encountered on social media. This is verbatim. I want to give you this. This premier community is a joke. They had plenty of notice that this storm is coming. That's the only thing that's accurate in what I'm about to read. And did nothing until it was too late. Waited until it stopped snowing, sleeting, freezing, rain, then decided to plow. Idiots. That's what's running this town. Maybe if they would have brined before and kept up with it during the storm, we wouldn't be under 6 inches of ice. Well, tell me how we were supposed to keep up with it when we had every available resource running constantly for the whole time that we were here. The only way we could have kept up with it more is if the subcontractor could have provided us with, like Frank said, 100 pieces of equipment, 125. They have the nerve to call the county and the state for the roads that they are responsible for. We're not responsible for the county and state roads. The county road department is. The state is responsible for the state highways. Those roads were kept up with and are clean. Well, our office got flooded with calls of people complaining that the county roads were reduced to 1 lane, or, you know, so, and those roads were brined to death. You can put all the brine you want down on a side road. Doesn't work. Needs traffic and not extreme cold. So we could have wasted resources and spent all that money brining streets to get minimal result, or we could save that money and try to bring in more resources to do what needed to be done, push this stuff, and make these roads passable. So I'll finish with, I wonder what the roads around the idiot's home looks like. And I don't know if I'm the idiots or you're the idiots or who they're calling idiots. But I took a picture of my house and posted it on social media 2 days after the storm. Now, I run the department, right? I run the response. I live in Whitman Square. I'm not afraid to admit it. I put it on social media. 2 days after the storm, I had ice pack on my road. Why? Whitman Square was one of the first neighborhoods that got done on Sunday. It was done around between 1 and 2. It takes about, with 9 trucks, it takes us about 4 hours. When we finished, we still had precipitation coming in the form of sleet, freezing rain, and slop coming out of the sky. It refroze while we were out doing the rest of the town. We can't do the whole town simultaneously. We just don't have that kind of equipment. Where people talk about the county and the state, they take a handful of trucks and they run the same road in tandem over and over and over again. We simply cannot do that. I would need 4 times the amount of equipment we have to even come close to that. So our goal with these storms, any kind of storm, in the developments, are to get the roads passable. Would I love to see blacktop on every single street? Yes, I would, of course. It's just not a reasonable expectation with the amount of roads we have, the amount of equipment we have. It doesn't make sense to have 100 pieces of snow plowing equipment sitting around when we only have 18 people with the credentials to drive it. The only way this storm could have been handled better would be if contractors responded in more force and we had more pieces of equipment. It's as simple as that. And I'll touch on one more thing that Frank said, and I'll shut it down with that. Of the 18 people that we had on the road from our department. Because somebody talked about, you need to train them better. You need to train them better. Of the 18 people we had driving, only 6 were here for the last time we got this amount of snow. They were all hired 2017 and later. Now, they've had experience in smaller snowstorms, but we've watched videos with them. I've taught them. I've gone in the truck with them in lesser storms. There's no way you can train somebody for what we experienced until you're out there. I was out there in the truck, and I'm the one that told them, hey, guys, the only way you're not going to get stuck is you got to do this double. You got to lower it halfway, skim the top, then drop it down. They had no idea. That's why they were getting stuck all over the place. The guys with experience, the half a dozen guys that have done it before, realized that. So our guys have been trained. They've seen videos. They've plowed lesser snow. There's no experience like real experience, right? So in closing, our video that we sent out early was spot on. It explained everything that was going to happen, and it happened almost to the T. When somebody says we had notice, they're correct, and we did prepare. We got all our trucks in-house ready. We got all our people rested and sent them home and had them ready to report the next morning at a certain time. We jumped right in and started doing everything we could do. And the whole time since that storm, every day post-storm for 7 days, we worked additional hours to try to clear the roads. And still today, we're still trying to open up the roads. But 90% of the complaints that we're getting are the road's not wide enough. It needs to be opened up more. Well, why was that? There was cars everywhere. Everywhere you went, every street, every court, there was cars. Now, if we go back to try to open those roads back up, what's the result going to be? You, the good neighbor who didn't have your car in the street, who shoveled your driveway, and now you're clear because your neighbors 4 or 5 houses down had this stuff in the street. I'm going to come down with a plow and now plow you back in. So we have to be surgical about the way we open the roads up. We come in, we very slowly push everything up. One more, I know I'm getting long-winded. I promise this is my last point. People talk about they don't put enough salt down. They don't salt. In a normal storm, I put about 125 ton down doing our 120 main roads. In this storm, I put down 680 ton of salt. It was over 100 truckloads worth because every main road, every side road got at least 2 passes and some more than that with salt. It would not penetrate that thick layer of ice because we were only getting a little bit of sun for a few hours that helped activate it. And when we came back to try to push it, the plows were just gliding along the top of the ice. So there's nothing more we could have done short of having an army of vehicles that are just simply not available to us. So I'm going to stick around. Anybody from the public is here for this reason. I'd be happy to answer any questions that they have. If anyone up there has any questions. This was not about a lack of resources. This was not about a lack of planning. It was not about a lack of execution. It was about a once-in-a-decade storm followed by the lowest temperatures we saw for an extended period of time since 2004, and just having a certain amount of equipment available. You don't have 200 trucks sitting around to do this job, and that's the only way to do it quick. And trust me, my wife, my kids, the people that care about me would much rather me be able to do this in 8 hours and come home and not be at work from 7 a.m. on Sunday till 3 p.m. on Tuesday without a wink of sleep, and then come home, fall asleep from that time until I had to go back for the next 10 hours and the next 10 hours. We would want to do it quicker too. We just have to work with what we have. So, sorry that might have been long-winded. I wanted to be thorough in giving an explanation as to what we did. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I just want to say thank you to you guys and the whole team because we did spend a lot of time on the phone. We talked about it every day. So I was going to talk about during our old business, new business, about what, again, we can always get better. We said that, right? We can always get better. We know that, but you guys worked tirelessly. The whole team worked tirelessly. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah. And did we miss a few courts? Yep. Yeah. And we went back the next day and we did them. When we got the call, hey, a couple in the Birches we missed. It was a miscommunication. The one sticks out, Amherst. We missed it, right? There was another court we didn't do. It was when I was out there plowing, there was a car stuck in the opening of the court. I tried to help him. I tried to move snow to get him out of there. Yeah. He got stuck. I couldn't get in. By the time I remembered, oh my God, I never went back there, it was 8 hours later. Then I went back and I did it.
Yeah.
So, stuff falls through the cracks, no doubt. But it was all addressed
Sure.
in a very short period of time. So
We had
thanks
a lot
for-
of messages, right? I mean, we had a lot of text messages.
I just want to say thank you to Frank, Brian, your whole department. I felt like an operator. I mean, I must have answered 60 phone calls in 3 days.
Yeah.
I know I rode around with you for about 4 hours at one day with Councilman. I rode around with you for about 3 hours the other day. We're always willing to learn, right? I think Frank said that. We're always willing to learn and grow. My street didn't get plowed till about 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was ice until this week because it was already frozen by the time it got plowed. And I saw so many messages saying our town was the worst. Every other town was clear. Well, I had a mayor's meeting from Gloucester County on that Thursday, and actually, Councilman was my guest, and we've spoken to the mayor of Deptford, mayor of Williamstown. They all had the same issues. They all were getting the same complaints.
Yeah.
The only ones who didn't have a problem was this one town was like, well, we were shorthanded. We had 5 guys. Well, you can plow your town in that small window of when the snow stopped and it was ice. Unless we can plow 700 roads in a 6-hour window, unfortunately, this is what we're dealt, but we will learn from it. We will grow from it, and we'll work on the things that need work on.
Yeah,
But
and
I just want to say thank you. I mean,
No, and listen-
I know I talked to you, and I do want to commend you and your staff as we got complaints, you guys were out there instantly. I was getting responses of being grateful that you guys got out there instantly.
I say it all the time, and it's not lip service. I live here. My parents live here. I have a sibling that lives here. My kids go to school here. If the town guys were sitting in the shop with their feet up, drinking coffee, I'd probably have a hard time defending what we did. But when they were out 32 hours straight running with everything we had, that's why I feel the need to respond to a lot of the stuff I see on the social media, because I want the folks that know, the guys that work for us to know that we have their back and appreciate the work that they put in. Because, you read all these comments and you say to yourself, I've been here for 32 hours straight busting my butt. Maybe the next time I don't want to come to work, they can keep the money. It's a tireless job. I don't like it. It's one of the most difficult things we do. And to your point with the other towns, I actually snapshot, and I think I sent it maybe to Pete. There was someone from Williamstown saying, Washington Township roads look great on their Williamstown talk, and Williamstown's look like crap, and blah, 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 blah. And I sent it to a couple people. I'm like, look, somebody that lives in another town thought we did a great job.
I gave it a thumbs up. Yeah, I like that one. I was like,
And
let me ask you a question, Brian, and I guess it's an expectation, right? When you guys do interviews, do you ask about snow? I mean, we're not Buffalo, we're not Rochester, and I've told a lot of residents this, that we don't hire these guys to plow snow. We're not in an area where they learn to plow snow at 15, 16 years old, and that's all they're used to. It's a once in 10 year, once in a decade situation where they're thrown into, this is just something that you have
And
to
that
handle.
being said, I think they did a pretty darn good job. There was little nuances that they needed help with, right? Like, some of the other complaints we get, you blocked the handicap ramp when you tuck the corner. Well, what are our options? Are we supposed to take the plow with a pile of snow bigger than this podium and try to strategically and surgically open the driveway or open the handicap ramp? It's not possible during the heat of the month. If we did that, then your 20-hour response goes to some people might not see a plow for 48 hours. So it's a tough job. Hopefully we don't see another storm like this for 10 years, then it won't be my problem. But we did everything we could. We tried to respond to everyone we could, and it certainly wasn't for lack of effort, lack of caring, lack of resources. It was a lack of participation from subcontractors. We would have paid because that would have cut down on the time we were out there. So either way, we're still spending the same amount of money. We had 100 trucks. We cut our time in half. Same money, right?
Yeah.
And less hours for the guys that had to come in from our in-house staff. So I appreciate the opportunity to
Appreciate it,
speak.
guys. Thank
If
you so
anyone
much.
from the public has a question about that, I'd be happy to answer it. And, my phone is always on to the residents. I talk to a lot of them. And generally, when you give them an explanation, the reasonable folks get it. So thank you for the time.
thank you, guys.
And I'm sorry for
Appreciate you.
being so long-winded, but it's important to me.
Appreciate your
So,
time.
yeah, thank you,
Thank
guys.
you, Frank and
you, guys.
Brian.
All right, moving on to the bill list. Can I get a motion to approve the bill list for February 11th, 2026?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Yurkis?
Yes.
Councilman Harris?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pascalone?
Yes.
Council Vice President Brown?
Yes.
Council President Deverell?
Yes. Moving on to minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the regular minutes the executive session meetings for January 21st, 2026.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Yurkis?
Abstain.
Councilman Harris?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pascalone?
Yes.
Council Vice President Brown?
Yes.
Council President Deverello?
Yes. We on the ordinances? Madam Clerk, please.
Ordinance 1, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank for calendar year 2026.
Now, this is up for, this is for introduction only. Can I get a motion to introduce ordinance 001-2026?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Yurkis?
Yes.
Councilman Harris?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pascalone?
Yes.
Council Vice President Brown?
Yes.
Council President Deverello?
Yes. So public hearing and adoption will occur on February 25th at 6 p.m.
Ordinance 2, ordinance of the Township of Washington, County of Gloucester, State of New Jersey, adopting Chapter 43, Weddings and Civil Unions of the Code.
Okay, this is also up for introduction only. Can I get a motion to introduce ordinance 002-2026?
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Yurkis?
Yes.
Councilman Harris?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pascalone?
Yes.
Council Vice President Brown?
Yes.
Council President Deverello?
Yes. This will also be up for a hearing, and the adoption will be on February 25th at 6 p.m.
Ordinance 3, ordinance of the Township of Washington, County of Gloucester, State of New Jersey, adopting Chapter 282, Senior Center Advisory Committee of the Code.
This is also for introduction only. Can I get a motion to introduce ordinance 003-2026?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Harris? I'm sorry, Councilman Yurkis?
Yes.
Councilman Harris?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pascalone?
Yes.
Council Vice President Brown?
Yes.
Council President Deverello?
Yes. Public hearing and adoption will occur on February 25th at 6 p.m. Moving on resolutions, the following resolutions are for consent agenda only, require vote for all listed. Each one must be read by the title. If any member of the council wish to have one removed and heard separately, need to indicate prior to reading. Does anyone need anything heard or moved separately?
No.
Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you read the resolutions, please?
Ordinance 57, resolution authorizing the cancellation of stale-dated bank reconciliation items of the Township of Washington current account. 58, resolution designating an Americans with Disabilities Act coordinator and adopting grievance procedures pursuant to the Code of Federal Regulations, Title 28, Chapter 1, Part 35, Subpart A, Section 35.107. 59, resolution appointing Alfred Morgan as full-time zoning officer for the Township of Washington. 60, resolution appointing a member to the Washington Township Municipal Utilities Authority. 61, resolution to authorize the submission of a grant application for local recreation improvement grant with the Department of Community Affairs. 62, resolution amending resolution R-250-2025, resolution to cancel old grant receivables and/or grant reserve appropriation balances effective 12/31/2025. Resolution 63, resolution canceling old capital money to capital surplus effective 12/31/2025 in the amount of $4,399.87. 64, resolution canceling taxes for William S. Dove, a totally disabled veteran. Resolution 65, resolution canceling taxes for a totally disabled veteran at 7 Atlas Court effective October 23rd, 2025. 66, resolution approving participation with the State of New Jersey grant program administered by the Department of Law and Public Safety. 67, resolution authorizing the cancellation of stale-dated bank reconciliation items for the Township of Washington trust account. 68, resolution appointing Marla DiMarcantonio, Esquire, as hearing officer for towing suspension appeals.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Can I get a motion to approve resolutions R057-2026 to R068-2026?
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Yurkis?
Yes.
Councilman Harris?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pascalone?
Yes.
Council Vice President Brown,
Yes.
Council President Zabarello.
Yes. Moving on to old business, new business. Let's start with Councilman Joe Harris.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I actually have quite a bit, so relax. Sit back and relax a little bit. So as we speak right now, my son's actually in junior wrestling, and the youth wrestlers are over at the high school right now, and they're meeting up with the high school wrestling team. And these guys, it's always a fun event. They mess around with the young guys,
cool.
and they let them get beat up a little bit. The older guys get beat up a little bit by the young guys. It's a fun thing. They do that for football, too.
Nice.
So it's a really nice event. Speaking of wrestling, this past weekend was the Jimmy Fissler Junior Wrestling Tournament, and that was at the high school. There was a huge turnout. My wife, Kelly, ran the concession stand, and they kept running out of food. It was a big event. I kept making pizza runs, and Pep Pizza gave them really good prices on the pizzas, and Philly Pretzel Factory gave a good price for pretzels. So that was a really nice event. And it was a busy weekend. We also had Helping Hands, hoagie sale. Mayor and some of the council people were there as well. They're probably going to elaborate on that a little bit. Beautiful event, very heartwarming. That middle school students all lined up, helping to make the hoagies, and later on the day, I believe it was the high school students were there for all the pickups, and those hoagies were distributed throughout a lot of the elementary schools as well for pickup. So that's a really nice event. If you didn't either participate in that or buy hoagies, keep that in mind for next year. It's always on Super Bowl Sunday. Hoagies were fantastic, and it really goes to a good cause. Speaking of good causes, we have a lot of fundraising activity going on in the next upcoming weeks. We have Whitman School has a sip and support all day at Blended Joe Coffee, and that actually that ends Saturday, the 14th, which is Valentine's Day, and also Cinder Bar has a dine and donate, and that's February 8th through the 17th. Monday, February 16th, Thomas Jefferson has a fundraiser at Fun City, and that's from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m., and that's again at Fun City Adventure Park on the Black Horse Pike. Monday, February 16th, Bunker Hill Middle School is having a fundraiser at Raising Cane's, also on the White Horse Pike from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And Washington Township schools are closed Friday, the 13th, and that would be February 13th, and Monday, the 16th as well, so keep that in mind. And I am a liaison to the Board of Education, so the next Board of Education meeting is Tuesday, the 17th, upcoming, and I'm going to do my best to be there. And regarding supporting our local businesses, there's a business called Matt Byrne, getting back to the wrestling theme, and that's a wrestling-themed gym for adults and children. So their grand opening is this Saturday, the 14th, from 9 to 1. I'll be there. I think some of the council members, as well as the mayor, may be there. And got just a little bit more, folks, so trying to make it fast. Really beautiful event coming up this Friday, and this is going to be held at Calvary Christian Chapel. And it's called Night to Shine. So what we have is physically and developmentally challenged individuals. It's their night. It's their night to shine. And we're asking everyone who can make it to come and support these amazing people by acting as paparazzi and cheerleaders outside. I know several of us were there last year, and I think I could speak for everyone saying how moving this event was. So these individuals walk the red carpet, and they enter to their version of the prom or the Oscars or the Emmys all wrapped up into one. It's really exciting for them. It's also Tim Tebow Foundation is a big part of making that happen. So it's a touching event, and if you can make it out there, at least in the parking lot, dress warm and help cheer these people on, it'd be really appreciated, and you're gonna be real happy that you did. And that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you so much. Councilwoman, do you have anything?
Yeah, last Friday I had the opportunity to attend a project graduation fundraiser, and it was a great turnout. I got to meet a lot of the Board of Ed and teachers and parents of the children that go to Washington Township High School, so it was a great event overall. And I want to thank Public Works again for all their work and tireless energy to get the snow removed, and I know you guys had to deal with a lot of criticism, so we appreciate all the work that you did and all the calls that you answered. So that's all I have for today.
Appreciate you. Student Representative Haven, you have anything? All right.
Good evening. February has been an exciting month so far with a few exciting things coming up. Sunday, February 8th, the annual Township Hoagie Sale took place. Students and members of our community came together to make and distribute hoagies to benefit families facing medical setbacks. It was a super successful event, and everyone who participated enjoyed being a part of something so impactful and rewarding. Sophomore Class Council's Township Night at the Flyers took place on Thursday, February 5th. Washington Township High School cheerleaders performed their routine at Xfinity Mobile Arena in the concourse between the first and second period. It was a night full of laughter and wonderful memories were made. From January 9th to January 11th, a group of 12 high school students, along with their advisor, Miss Balker, and Principal Anderson, attended the YMCA Model United Nations Conference in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Our student delegates got together to learn more about how the United Nations work and even had the chance to debate relevant world topics to solve problems. Washington Township High School was even recognized as an outstanding delegation at this year's conference. Our Science National Honor Society, as well as Math National Honor Society, had their induction ceremonies earlier this month. Our hardworking students got recognized for their academic success thus far in both subjects and were awarded a certificate for their achievement. Township Choir is proud to present the 13th annual Philly Pops concert, Crossroads, which will be held this Thursday, February 12th at 7 p.m. in the Republic Bank Performing Arts Center at Washington Township High School. Come out and support these amazing students while enjoying songs by Rascal Flatts, Alanis Morissette, Sabrina Carpenter, Miley Cyrus, and lots of other familiar singers and songwriters. Tickets will be sold for $15 at the door, and the booktix.com link will be open until 1 p.m. tomorrow for tickets on sale for $10. That is all I have for February. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I do on Saturday, February 21st, from 10 a.m. to 11:30 at the Public Works Garage. We will be having a free rabies clinic.
It's a busy one too, so get there and get.
So we could take anyone that would like to help fill out the paperwork and assist. It's actually fun. All the little dogs come in and
Yeah, actually, it's a good time.
make a mess. No, just kidding. No, but it's fun. They bark and they talk to us, so it's fun. It's busy.
Yeah. Count.
Oh, and we will be taking, if you want to pay at that time, we'll take your payment.
Okay, good. Councilman Yerkes.
Thank you. I am the council liaison to the Veterans Advisory Board and wanted to remind people that this coming Friday night, February 13th, starting at 6:30, the Tri-State Veterans Memorial Fund is sponsoring a Valentine's Day dance party starting at 6:30. It's a fundraiser for the veterans. It's going to be hosted by Bob Pantano. He's a local resident, very famous. He does the oldies. Should be a great time. He did one Veterans Day at Adelphia's. I will be there to support our veterans and talk with anyone who comes here and needs to talk about what's going on in the township. Be happy to help you. I think the donation is $40. It's at the Senior Center on Green Tree Road, and there will be a buffet by Mission Barbecue. If you've never had their food, it's fantastic, and it's a BYOB. I did want to reach out to our Public Works Department. They did a phenomenal job, Herculean job. I know I saw some of the social media posts, the one that Brian wrote. I saw that, disgusting. This is not Buffalo or Rochester, New York. We can't invest $100 million in equipment we're going to use once every 10, 20 years. And that was the storm. I've been shoveling snow for 60 years as a kid, making money. Never seen a storm like this. I was out in it snow blowing, got the snow off, and when that sleet came down, it poured. It just didn't come down in flakes. It poured and froze very quickly. 4 inches worth. I measured it. It's an impossible storm to keep up with. And for the job that they did, they went above and beyond, and I think they deserve a big round of applause from all of us. And I think that's it. And thank you again.
Solicitor Rooney, anything?
Nothing substantive to report, Mr. Council President. I know we're talking a lot about snow today, but I think we
Yes.
Felt like it.
Yeah.
So that's what I focus on, besides working.
Absolutely.
All I have to add.
All right, like it. Yeah, Russo, anything? Mayor?
One day Joe's going to have a report. I know it. So I'm not going to be as long as Brian or Joe. So the hoagie sale was great. I want to personally thank Joe Harris because I would have not made it without you calling me at 6 o'clock in the morning. I set my alarm for 5:30, but for some reason I hit PM. But when Joe called me at 5:45 or 5:50, I lied and said I was awake already, even though I wasn't. But I made it there on time. So Joe, thank you for calling. I appreciate it. It was a great event for a great cause. So I was happy to be there. Chief was there as well. I was there for the ribbon cutting for Hearing Life, which is in Walmart Shopping Center, which is hearing aids and assistant for hearing. So welcome to Washington Township. Me, Councilman Dr. Hibbs, and School Board member Steve Serrano attended the Wedgwood Winter Wonderland Door Contest, which was great. Got to walk around Wedgwood grade school and judge the doors and pick a winner. So it was actually really fun to do. They had hot chocolate scarves for us. So it was actually great to see the kids and pick a winner. The Night to Shine is this Friday. Like Joe said, it's a great event. If you've never been there, it's all donated. The Lifestyles, I believe, donates all the tuxedos. They enter the building, and then what they do is they have a limousine pick them up from the back of the building, and they drive them to the front of the building like they're coming in for the paparazzi. And outside, we cheer, we holler, and to see their faces, the way they get out, it's really amazing. It puts things into perspective. If your mailbox was blocked, your driveway was blocked, go to this event, and then you can see, you can appreciate the issues we think we have to what other people deal with on a daily basis. And I was there for the first time, I believe 5 years ago when I first got on council. I've been there every year. And I brought my kids because I want them to understand that when you think you have it tough, there's always somebody who has it tougher. Be grateful for what you have and give back to where you can. So it's a great event. If you can get there, please get there. I want to thank Public Works again. I mean, Brian, Frank, I called you 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock in the morning. You guys answered every phone call, every text message. All we could do was react when we got those calls, and that's what we did. So I appreciate the effort. I love having you guys as part of our team. And, when the next storm comes, we'll be side by side again fighting it. So thank you. And last thing I want to mention is we have a couple of podcasts will be coming out. We did a great one with Ed Wade.
Yeah.
With that, Councilman says my face was glowing the whole time because I love sports, but it was a great conversation. So look for that one to come soon. I did one on affordable housing today, which it's going to come out soon. It explains to everybody why the developments are coming and everything else. Gives you a lot of insight of what we are mandated to do, and sometimes we don't have a choice. And then we did one yesterday where the councilman threw me in and I had to get a facial. So we were at a podcast at a, I guess, skincare place.
Yeah.
And, he volunteered me, and there I was, had my first facial ever. So that one should be coming out soon.
Heated
but
bed, right? It was a heated bed.
It was heated bed, yeah. And listen,
Nice.
and we're going to get payback. So the next one, Pete's going to volunteer. I mean, maybe a proctologist. I'm not sure.
Colonoscopy.
But I'm gonna pick where we're gonna go. But it was really fun. I got to say, it was nice doing one on location.
Yeah.
And never think of a man getting a facial, but I'll tell you, my face felt great, like hydrated and stuff. And you talk to people saying that they've got it done. So
You look good.
yeah, thank you. I was glowing last night, but it was fun. It was really good to get out. It was at Platinum Suites, so it's good to get out and see people work in our town in their space. But it was a great thing. So look for these to come out. It'll be on the website and on the YouTube channel. But that's all I have.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, that explains why you're glowing.
Yeah.
First off, to reiterate, again, thank Public Works, Frank and Brian for all their hard work. I did reach out to Brian about some issues that were brought to my attention, and he handled them the best way that he could, circumstances aside. It was a very tough storm. The criticisms that you guys took online, the phone calls here, it's a shame that, people Monday morning quarterbacking and not realizing the impact of the storm had on the entire region and how it affected not just Washington Township, but the other towns. I was driving to and from work myself, and I could say 42 was a nightmare going back and forth, and I didn't see any clearance on that, or actually asphalt or concrete until about Tuesday. So this is very rough. You guys deserve to be commended, and you guys do a great job for the township, not just in the snowstorms, but in everything that you do. Also want to recognize police, fire, and EMS. I'm sure their calls doubled and tripled. I know the fire department usually gets added on to the EMS calls to not only help out maybe moving a patient out of the house, but even going the extra mile and shoveling a driveway. The police department, they were out as well, assisting as much as they could. I do believe there were a lot of accidents through the storm that were encountered. It was rough all the way around. I look forward to Friday night. This will be my fourth night to shine. It's an incredible event, very moving experience, and to see the look on those young adults' faces is just incredible. Laughing, carrying on, and just enjoying themselves. It's a great event, and if you can just show up, as Councilman Harris and the mayor suggested, it really brings a smile to their face. The hoagie sale, I thought it was a great event. Unfortunately, I was under the weather and couldn't make it, but I congratulate the high school for all their hard work and the volunteers who come out and assist every year for a great cause. From the library, it is Black History Month, and on February 17th, which is a Tuesday, Mary Fields, portrayed by Dr. Daisy Century, will be having a West Cowgirl and stagecoach driver who delivered the U.S. mail in Montana. We'll be learning about her that night. And I encourage everybody to visit their website. They have their posting about hiking happenings. Some of the things are coming up. Check the website for details, but they have Blind Date with a Book, introducing Book Club in a Bag, Poetry Walk is back, and the Hagen Library is celebrating its 60th anniversary in 2026. They'd ask that you help celebrate by participating in their reading challenge. And of course, if you have any questions, reach out to the library staff. They'll be more than helpful to help out. That's it.
All right. Thank you so much. Again, this month being Black History Month and actually also American Heart Month. Also, the other thing was, I kind of want to say, we get to this point, it's kind of, you kind of heard everything, but I do have to thank Brian and Frank. We were getting a lot of messages, and I was telling people to call me. I was telling people to message me. I was asking people if you had problems, but as soon as those messages came in, I would send them right over to you guys, and you were getting right on it. Because people were writing me back, and there was some negativity online, but there was a lot of positivity. There was people who understood what was going on. They understood the weather. Other towns, again, we went to that mayor's meeting. They were having the same issues. So I take some of that other stuff with a grain of salt, because I really think people do understand how hard you guys work, and that team worked around the clock. So I really have to thank you. And the people who reached out, we're trying out there and shovel some people out ourselves, really trying to help them out as much as possible, and we'll try to continue to do that. It was just once every 10 years, a storm like that comes, and this was our time to have it. I broke the shovel. She's the only thing she gave me. She said, please don't break my shovel. The first house I broke the shovel. So that just tells you what that it was like snow and ice. I said a sledgehammer. So not many people saw a guy in a suit with a sledgehammer, but I was out there like trying to get people's driveways cleaned up and trying to help people. So we had a lot of fun doing that. And I told Maxine I would do her driveway. She didn't call me, but I would have Maxine. I would have done that for you. So yeah, just wanted to kind of follow up on that. And the podcast, we're having a lot of fun with it. Yesterday's episode really was a lot of fun. Then we actually shot in a restaurant as well yesterday. We actually had the people of the Neighborhoods magazine, Washington Township Neighbors magazine, so we had them. We were talking about that. So that gets to about 3,600 houses, she said. And they're going to do something where you'll able to get extra copies. You might be able to buy copies here, or we're going to figure out something. Because I know a lot of people want to get that magazine. There's some really great articles. This month was actually Coach Chatsman that actually had the cover. So they get great stories. So we actually sat down with the writer, with the person who puts it together, the photographer. We had a great conversation at Pasta Pomodoro yesterday. So we want to do more shoots like that where we were doing behind the welcome sign in other businesses as well. So like the mayor said, he got a facial yesterday, which was awesome to kind of to see that. And then we actually heard her story. So you watch it, find out about her roots from Philadelphia, how she got into the business, what she loves about it. Platinum Sleeps was beautiful. What a beautiful place. If you've never been there before, please check that out. There's about 32 different hair and makeup, all kinds of. Yeah, the coffee place down there. There's a new tattoo place in there. So all different things. So if you haven't been there, really, really. We're going to get tattoos next. Yeah, we get matching tattoos. But it really just a lot of fun. So now moving on to public participation. Please follow public decorum posted, which has been attached to the public agenda, and limit your questions to 5 minutes. Once you complete your comments or your questions, I'll ask if any member of the governing body or their designee wishes to address those comments. Can I get a motion to open to the public?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Second.
All in favor? Anyone from the public wishing to speak? Please just come up and state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Rich Croft. I'm from Atco, New Jersey. And I've been a pain in the neck to the clerk over the last month, but was trying to get on the agenda tonight because
Can you talk a little bit louder?
because I run a cannabis dispensary in Atco, and I understand there's one license still available in Washington Township. I've been trying to get licensed in Washington Township for over 2 years. It's difficult to find the right site. I finally found the right site across from Luna Rosa, the old automotive garage. And however, the contract is contingent on me getting a license because I'm not going to spend $1 million and not be able to reap any benefits from it. So I'm confused as to why the township is pausing that license, because every day it sits vacant is lost revenue to the town. And that's my question for the for council. Don't know if anybody wants to respond or.
That's really, I think we're pausing on it. I think we just kind of paused it for right now to see how the other ones kind of operate first before we kind of went into another.
Midnight
license.
Green's been there for over a year.
Right, we have a second one that's getting ready to open, so we also wanted to see how it worked out first. I know there's been some issues in the towns. I've seen some now that are closing as well, so I think it was the other idea.
I've seen no dispensaries that have closed, but it's very possible. But everyone that I've been involved with seems to be doing great. The towns enjoy the tax benefit. Whatever Midnight Green is doing, if I am successful in opening, I'm sure I would do at least that or more, which would give the town, a lot more resources. Maybe they buy another plow or something if they need it. But there's no detriment to the town. Or downside. I think that, obviously everybody has their own thoughts on cannabis, but I feel that bars are much more of a detriment and a liability as opposed to a cannabis store where somebody comes in and buys and then they go home.
It's something we can consider. I mean, I don't think we're totally against it. I think we were just waiting to see how the other ones played out first. So I think it's something that we can revisit in the future. I don't think it's completely off the table.
No, I know, but I need to give the people that I'm buying the property from, an answer like, is it 30 days away? Is it 2 years away? Is it,
I don't think we can
what's...
get an answer right this second. I don't think
You have a code here, ordinance that can't be within half a mile of another dispensary. And there's
Yeah.
one on the corner of Berlin, Crosskeep Road, and 42. Unfortunately, it's another township.
Yeah, it's another town.
But is whatever your application, they say too close to the other one?
No, matter of fact, the zoning office, months ago, I went to get a zoning verification. The zoning officer said that the site was fine. Obviously, I'd have to come in and go through whatever other requirements there were, site plan approval, this and that. And, the building right now is an ugly building. It's an eyesore. Of course, I would put, at least $100,000 or more into it. It would look nice. It would look like across the street. And it has adequate parking. I'd put a drive-in in there so that it makes it easy for people to come in and out. Although we found that most people like to come in and check things out and see what's available. But as far as the requirement of a half a mile, I don't know. I don't know what the exact mileage is from the botanist, but like you said, it's in another town, and not sure how the ordinance is written and that it, does it affect other towns, or, I know that the purpose of it was so that, Midnight Green, it's open, you don't open up next door to them. Although in our business, it doesn't seem to matter because people, they go for price, they go for convenience, they go for service, friendliness, all that stuff. So, you'd have to ask your solicitor. I don't know that any of us could really say definitively, what's the intent and how would it play out legally. The TD Bank, I looked at that a couple of years ago when they closed, and it was a difficult site to wrap up. So, I guess I don't know what they're doing with it. I guess they have the light show every year, and I don't know what their end result, what they're really going to do with it at the end of the day. But, we'll see.
Just a question. You operate one in Winslow Township?
Atco,
Okay.
which is Waterford Township.
Water, right. In that particular area, how many are around you at current?
I have one actually within a mile.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Holistic Solutions. They were open before me. I came in, I took a similar type building that was dilapidated, put a bunch of money in, made it nice. Next door to it, I have a warehouse that I'm eventually I'm gonna do indoor growing, cultivation, but that's, another year down the road.
So putting that much money into that particular building with the botanist in Williamstown and Midnight Greens, I know what you're saying. People go visit for price, variety, and whatever else. It doesn't concern you putting that much money?
No, I would welcome it because the botanists, they have a nice draw. Everybody knows what that road looks like during the summer. You're not only going to grab the township people, but you're going to grab everybody coming over the Walt Whitman Bridge that once they get familiar, that they can stop on their way down to the shore. I think, and I'm on the right side of the street, go to the shore. I think it's a win-win for me, and then it would be a win-win additional income for the town because it's not going to take much from Midnight Green, but you guys aren't getting anything from the botanist. So whatever I can grab from them is a bonus for the town.
Well, a lot of places that come and solicit a license.
What?
I said a lot of the businesses that come here to solicit licenses have provided business plans, models, and projections and all that. Do you have anything that you've submitted?
I did submit some.
I didn't see it. So
No, that's fine because I'm not on the agenda. But
Okay.
I did submit that. There's no security wise. I went through the whole thing, spent $100,000 in armed security, everything like that,
Right.
and it's not worth it. I mean, the town's small enough that if there's a problem, the employees are told to just give either cash or the product or whatever, and call it a day. And then then it's up to the police and insurance. As far as the business plan, as far as numbers and everything like that, I didn't really run the numbers, but that's not a difficult thing.
No, that's okay. I was just, like I said,
Yeah.
I've seen some things come through here, and I don't remember seeing it.
You probably would, well, because I'm not on the agenda, but
Not necessarily. Okay.
whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, they have it so if
Right,
you
right.
wanted to peruse it. But I certainly would like to have the opportunity. I'd like to, if I could tonight, leave with something a little more than we don't really know. If it's something that would be considered in the near future, I don't know what the near future is. Is it 30, 60, 90 days? I would like to go back to the sellers because they've already lost a buyer before. I don't know what the buyer was going to put there, but I have a nice plan, and there's a house that goes with it that'll be sold. There's a building lot there that'll be developed, and then there's a commercial lot in the front next to the building itself with adequate parking, a nice in and out off of the highway, and then and then somewhat of a not a major street, but a nice spur street that fronts it. So.
Well, to address your question, sir, as you mentioned, it's not on the agenda tonight.
No.
I'm sure council appreciates you coming in here and advocating for yourself. But it's not on the agenda. I don't anticipate any formal action as possible this evening.
Oh, no, I agree.
And that would include any type of insurance that I think you're looking for. But certainly council heard what you had to say, and if that changes in the future, it could always be added to
I'm not looking
a future agenda. But
Not
I don't
looking
think
for any-
anybody can tell you tonight what I think you're asking for. I mean, you're essentially looking for some type of anticipatory municipal approval or municipal support for an application for a license.
just a nod, and when am I going to be able to come back in front of the board, in the next 90 days with a whatever they request, whether site plan, whether a little bit more of a business plan, security plan, or what. That's all I'm asking for.
Right, and again, as I said, not on the agenda tonight. I don't think at this point Township Council is prepared to be able to deliberate on that, to be able to extend that. But if that changes in the future, it could be added to a future agenda.
Right, and I guess the only other question is if there is one license available, why wouldn't I be able to come in and apply for it?
Well, that's a very complicated question because, as you know, there's a lot of things that goes into the process, a lot of considerations. So, again, this is public comment, so you've stood there and you've commented, you've advocated for yourself, and that's perfectly fine, but this isn't the venue for us to be able to, for example, have a full-born hearing over an application that's not currently on the agenda tonight.
I'm just asking, when would I be able to come in and apply?
I think respectfully, I've answered that very directly.
Well, if I came in tomorrow and made an application for the next meeting, would I be denied to even be on the agenda?
To make an application? Well, you're asking me to presuppose what council's going to do with an application that hasn't been filed yet. So I can't rightly do that. It wouldn't be fair to you because anything I would say would be pure speculation.
Just asking.
So I think at this point I've answered the question as directly as I can. Is there anything else I can answer?
I'm just asking if I make an application to the town, formal application, to be heard, is that a problem?
Well, sir, I mean, anybody that submits a lawful application is allowed to submit a lawful application. But again, what you're really asking is, Mr. Solicitor, how is Township Council going to decide on my application which hasn't been submitted? I obviously can't do that, sir.
No, I know that.
Even though I know you're looking for, I think you said a nod earlier, you're looking for some sort of indication, can't offer that tonight.
Let me step backwards. If I make an application tomorrow, for whatever the next meeting night is.
Sir, I've answered this question to the extent of my
I think
ability
you've
to do
danced
so.
around it.
I'm not a very good
Respectfully.
dancer. You could ask my wife if she was here.
Respectfully, I think-
I'm being very direct with you, and I gave you an answer, and that's the only answer that I can give you. Okay?
Well, the answer is, if I come in tomorrow and make an application, will I be placed on an agenda?
Sir, that is not the decision of the solicitor, and that's not something that can be answered tonight. It can't be. It's not how it works, unfortunately. That's not the process.
How does it work then?
I can't give you legal advice how to work through a
It's not a matter of
application.
working through. It's a matter of an application which there's.
Sir, this is an instance that happens a lot of times in life where I've given you an answer, and it's not that my answer is in any way ambiguous. You just don't like my answer. You want me to give you a yes or a no or absolutely. Can't do it. Okay?
I just don't want to be discriminated against. If I come in for an application tomorrow,
Sir, I don't know where you would have possibly gotten that. I have given you, again, a very direct answer.
well, you didn't
You
say.
can follow the process that anybody would normally follow. We have an ordinance which Council President's already
Which I did a couple weeks ago, and I'm here not on the agenda, so I don't have a real answer. Just that the council said, no, we're not going to put you on the agenda. So I would like an.
I don't think that all that's what the Council President said. I heard him very clearly.
No, he didn't.
He did not tell you in any form or fashion, leave and never come back, sir. It's just not on the agenda tonight, and you're asking for prejudgment on an application that's not on the agenda tonight.
I just want to know why I wasn't on the agenda tonight. That's all. I made an application.
Sir, your questions have been answered
I don't think so.
very directly.
I don't think so.
Is there something else I can answer?
Just that if I make application, will I be?
Well, that's what you've already asked, and I've answered
well,
that. Is
I-
there anything else?
So what's the answer?
Sir, I already told you that's not answerable. I'm a lawyer. I can't ask a court, hey, how, Your Honor, are you going to rule on my motion before it's before you? It just doesn't work that way.
All I'm asking
That's
is
not
to
the
be
process.
put on the agenda. I didn't ask for an answer.
Sir, I think that you have asked your question. Is there something else?
No, do I need to?
Okay, I've answered
legally-
that.
I don't think you did.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Anyone else looking to speak? Maxine? Oh, you brought your glasses today, Maxine. You got something. Oh, man. I'm sweating already.
And I don't want to be televised.
Okay.
Turn me off. Okay.
You're just going to keep it this way.
My name is Maxine Cangelos, 911 Whitman Drive. I appreciate the presentation by Frank and Brian, but I have my feelings about, okay? I have witnessed many snowstorms in which the severity was much worse than the last one, including the storm of 1996 in which we had over 30 inches. And we did not have cleanup issues as we did now. And I understand it was a different type of storm. You know, you had ice. I like the way you explained it. My husband and I are very disappointed with the township's efforts of snow removal. We only witnessed our road being plowed once. There were many plows passing by with blades up. Additionally, snow and ice were not plowed close to the curb. We had to shovel the end of our driveway 10 feet from the curb to get to the plowed area. The Stagecoach Road was so poorly cleared that the left-hand turn going into the pike, nobody could use it because the people coming off of the pike had to use it. There was no lane for them to get onto. So it was really packed with snow and ice. That went on for days. Whitman Drive, which is quite busy, traffic could not go. You know, the opposing traffic could not, go. They had to wait till the other person, went. It was really a scene, buses and everything. It went on for more than a week. And I says, if I was paying private contractors for their work, I would not pay them the whole fee. And may we suggest in the future an amendment creating a snow emergency so that no parking whatsoever on the streets in an emergency like that would help the people clearing the roads. We have on our street a pop-up tent it's licensed, but it's sitting out there all the time. There's a vehicle for sale that's been out there like for 2 years. So if you had these roads cleared, it might have been easier for you guys. Yes?
I can speak specifically to where you would like me to. I know exactly where you live.
Okay.
There's a dumpster in the street.
No, that's further down.
Okay,
Yeah.
That affects our ability to dip
But isn't there,
in and out. There's a white van parked that still hasn't moved just past your house. That
up the
has-
street? Yes. Yeah, that's
So
what I
when
was,
you set- And then in between that,
that
there
pop
was,
up.
there were several cars. So we don't have the ability with these plows to
I understand that, but I'm saying, if you have an amendment saying that during snowstorms, this is a snow
I
emergency.
think we have something on the books that says that, yeah. Yeah, that's the problem.
If you have 4 cars,
Right,
only 2 fit in the driveway.
right.
Where are the other ones?
I'll tell you what, one of the residents is they're parking over in the church parking lot, 7 vehicles.
I get it. And then as far as Stagecoach Road, the state made that big giant jut that's out on the corner that restricts
Yeah.
that lane. Not our.
We don't do stagecoach?
We do Stagecoach, but where you're talking about, in front of the car dealership, the giant ice accumulation that prevents you from getting on.
Yeah, right.
The state put that there. And by the time we were
Okay,
able to get to
but
it,
thank you.
we couldn't move it.
I understand.
This is what my file does.
Okay, I
It goes
understand
right
that,
up.
but I really think we need to have some kind of law about having these
I
cars
agree
on.
with you. I would love
So,
to plow it.
we
but
do,
there's no car.
right?
So I think we have the ordinance.
Yeah.
The problem is that it's not enforceable. Same with the sidewalks. You know how many people didn't plow shovel their sidewalks or snow their sidewalks? It's really not enforceable. We're going back and forth with who's going to enforce it, how's it enforced, and then, you know.
But why can't we, if there is a thing about cars on the road, if people got ticketed or something, they would learn the lesson.
Yeah, I think we can look at anything, right? Well, we are definitely going to come back together, right? As soon as we get through this, since it melts a little bit more, we're going to have a plan like we had before, and we'll come together and we'll figure out some of the things we did right, some of the things we could do better with. So I think that's all on the table.
And Maxine, one of the ideas we did throw around when me, Brian, and Frank were talking is maybe opening up some lots that we have, whether it be the senior center or the park, and say if anybody doesn't have room in their driveway,
I
here's
mean, it doesn't
alternative
affect
parking.
me, but I'm just saying,
Right.
it affects the cleanup.
But-
It does, yes.
You are 100%
Thank you.
correct.
I come from New York,
in
remember,
saying
so.
that. I wish I had streets with no cars. It would make our job extremely easy. We would be able to go to the curb everywhere. Then the second part of the problem is, like I said, when you have an area, I know Whitman Drive well, my father lives in Whitman Drive, I live up in the front. That particular area, with those permanent obstructions, and then a few cars parked in between, it doesn't allow you to swing out. And then once those things are moved, which 2 of them are never moving, if we came back in your driveway that you spent all that time clearing, we would re-block you in. And that's the issue. We do need the cars off the road at the time
Right.
of the issue. And I would love to see it. It's just, I call that, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, this is how I characterize it. That's like my blue heaven. I wish that was the perfect environment that we had plowing. But short of towing cars off the street, which people are already mad about their snow removal, then their car gets towed. I mean, we got a real problem.
Well, no, I understand, but that pop-up camper,
I know.
it's used
That,
maybe
the
3 months a
dumpster, the
year.
van, I know where you are. I know.
Thank you.
I've lived in Whitman Square for over 30 years of my 48 years on this earth, so I know it.
Really, you grew up there?
I grew up on Mary Mountain.
Oh, really?
48, I was there for all the.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
see? Made a new friend.
Somebody here longer than me, right?
Yeah.
I moved in 79. But no, I think maybe
I
a
think it's
snow
very long
emergency thing would maybe work. And
We
then,
will. No, I promise you, we're going to look at everything. And-
You know I know your number.
I know you know my number. I know it's going to be a 1. Anyone else looking to speak? State your name and address for record, please.
Hi, Richard R. Kellion, 113 Pinnacle Place. I came here on December 17th asking about possible reimbursement for snow removal of our townhouse community. Nobody's reached out to me as of yet, and I was wondering if there's a time frame where I would hear back from you guys.
It's been a place of justified, and just from my fire public works, every development when they were built has disagreement with the town, with private roads. So
Yeah.
That PJ, they put the into when that development was built, what was agreed upon at the board.
Is there an HOA, sir?
Yes.
For your community?
I'm board
or-
president.
You're the board president? Okay. If it's all right with you, Mr. Council President, sir, if you want to stick around after the meeting
yeah,
for
we'll
a
get
minute, I
information,
could get
yeah.
some information.
Sure.
As the mayor is indicating, There are New Jersey laws that govern communities like yours, but it's a fact-sensitive analysis, and beginning with whose roads they are.
Okay.
So happy to talk to you and see if maybe I can figure out the answer to your question.
Okay.
Okay.
One other thing, if I might, is the township considering at all smaller size trash bins? Because in our community, we have probably the smallest legal size garage you can probably get, and it's very tough to fit a vehicle in there as well as trash bins. We did have them, we can't have them outside because they don't seal. So they attract bugs, insects, rodents even, maggots, all kinds of stuff. So we require our residents to have them inside. But then they can't park their car in the garage with 2 or 3 bins in some cases, most cases. And with a townhome community, there's not enough parking.
Right.
And so then that ends up having street parking, which is not legal. So it causes issues. So we did talk to Suburban, and Suburban said as long as the bin can get, trucks can get the arms around the bin and lift it up, it's okay. But I don't know how that works with the township. I don't want anything illegal here. But I was wondering if you guys would consider the smaller bins. In a previous community I lived in, or town I lived in, they did offer a smaller size.
I think as our program, we've only had it, when did it go out, Frank? July, so, just north of 6 months. I think the initial commitment is get everybody rolled out, get the process going with the automation, and then as the program starts to mature and we can repurpose some of these cans, the 95s that we have, with some new developments coming in, we could look at the possibility of bringing in the 65s and maybe possibly start redistributing them. But right now, we don't have them in stock, and we're not purchasing them right now. But as these start to turn over, there has been talks internally of how we're going to redistribute the cans. So there is a possibility, and we do acknowledge that. It's not just your development. There's several HOAs that have reached out to us, some over 55. So we have a nice idea of, again, it's not like we can just do it just for your development.
Oh, no.
It's just something that we have to repeat on anything we do, we have to look at it from a 30,000-foot view. And how does it affect the whole town? And how many people would actually need that type of can, right?
Okay.
So it is something that there are internal discussions. Obviously, it works around money too.
Sure.
Making sure we do it smartly so we're not wasting the taxpayers' money by storing a ton of 95. So it's really a repurposing of the cans. But it's on the agenda. Yeah.
Just, yes. Right.
So if your garages are that small, a 65 gallon, not going to fix your problem. So, and that's the other concern we talked about is our town is so big for the rollout order, 5,000 cans over the order. But a lot of towns that have them, they have service for later, or even later. So their town is so smaller. I was started by, I can you're wrong with the push power, I can't wash the car.
Oh, yeah.
So our town's a lot bigger. We are interested in looking to say, okay, at what point does it make sense financially to do this? How do we go about? But we gotta also make sure that whatever size we pick, we go to 65, it doesn't make much of a difference. All we do is create habit. It costs us money and it's not stopping the budget. So that's the current problem of having what options are out there. What's the best option? The massive that even our problem. 65,
There's a 48, I
yeah,
think it is.
so we were talking about that, but Joe said in a little over 6 months rollout, we're working out the and we are constantly talking about hospital. So I know a lot of HOAs don't like them outside, but maybe consider it in the summer this year. I haven't had roads in mind, I've been outside for the time, so we won't be working
is it allowable for people to, like, I don't know, go to Lowe's and buy some kind of? Okay. All right. No, just wanted to be clear. That's all. All right.
There's some of the things we have to follow, so, but we do know about
Okay.
And Stan, Matt's going to talk to you. I want to get your information anyway, so you guys can talk
Yeah,
after the
yeah,
meeting.
I'll
Yeah,
stick around.
we won't much
Thank
longer.
you very much.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate your time.
Oh, does he really?
Peter has twins, and I have twins.
How old are your twins?
Yeah, mine are 14.
Oh, that's a good age.
Actually,
And Chrissy has twins, that's right.
actually, no, I'm wrong. They turned 15 on the 4th.
I tell people it's in the water here. When they're telling me they're pregnant, I'm like, is it twins? Like, I hope not. I'm like, well, it happens here a lot, so just so people know.
Since I had twins, I never see twins.
Yeah. I didn't have this grade before I had them. That's all, you know. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I do have a question and a comment.
About twins?
No. Getting back to the can issue. Because I said this to a couple other HOAs, whether it's condominium or whether it's be simple. Would you, as an association, be willing to do a temporary adjustment, allow people to have the cans outside until something can be done? That's question number one.
That's something that we've discussed, but the problem is, even though they're required to be inside, some people are still keeping them outside. And we've had complaints because of there have been rodents in the area, there have been maggots, and it's sort of disgusting. And it's offended the adjacent owners, because the townhouses are all close together.
Yeah.
So we just, for health concerns, we're not going to allow that.
Well, the other question I have is a lot of condominiums in town, and they have a common dumpster. You go and put the trash in. You don't have to have an individual can. Would that be something your HOA would consider, getting yourself a dumpster so people could put their trash in the dumpster, eliminating the need for the can?
That might be a possibility, but I don't believe there's a place in our community
you
where
don't have the room
you
for
could
it, do
put
you?
such a dumpster.
Yeah.
Well,
The other thing is the general laziness of our residents. It's very hard for them to manage to take their trash bins off the street after trash day. So I can't imagine them walking 10 extra steps or 100 to a dumpster someplace.
Well, you'd be surprised.
I understand your point, though.
You have Huntcliffe, Gloucester, Washington, Bunker Hill Development, Meadows, Rice Mill, you have Peachtree. I'm in those developments every day. My line of work. I've yet to see any of these problems. And I used to live in the clusters back in the 80s. Never had that problem. And I know that Cluster Park, you have coyotes, you have raccoons, you have foxes. I haven't heard one person complain about anything until now. This is new to me. So, but maybe discuss it with the township engineer. Get yourself a dumpster. I know a lot of the HOAs, condos, reimburse them. They have a fee. Maybe something to be worked out with the township to alleviate the parking problem that you have, especially with the cities, and the trash problem. Something to consider.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Anyone else looking to speak? Come on up here, Mr. Davis.
Good evening,
Mr.
everyone.
Davis, how are you?
Robert Davis, Saddlebrook Drive in Sewell. And have a question about Neighborhood Watch, actually, to do with the snowstorm, too, where the complaints I've heard all have to do with the roads and everything. However, going on the Nextdoor app, I saw a lot of people who said, I'm handicapped, my driveway is plowed in, what do I do? somebody said they were going to come by. They didn't show up. Nothing's happening. I was just wondering, on a neighborhood watch type of thing, I know the Hunt Club has neighborhood watch in addition to the HOA. And if you have a neighborhood watch, you could have things like, who are the kids in our community who are willing to shovel the walkway? Again, I live on Saddlebrook Drive. My neighbors, 4 or 5 of them, came over to me, helped me dig out everything. They did most of the work. I did all the watching.
You supervise it. Yeah, that's good.
And it still took them 3 days to dig me out. But if I don't know other communities other than Hunt Club to have community or have neighborhood watch, but if more of the developments did, I feel like the people who have those emergencies could just find out from the neighborhood watch people who would be available to do that. They wouldn't have to go to Frank and his team. They wouldn't have to come and send you all emails.
Yeah.
They just go to their community neighborhood watch. And if there were problems that had to do with police, and the police force wanted to send something to those neighborhood watch communities saying, here's what's going on in Washington Township, let the people in your community know about that. It would be helpful. I don't know if you all have anything to do with neighborhood watch, but I just think it's a good idea.
We're looking into it. I think we're going to go back and kind of figure out some of the things that we can do, things that we can kind of keep ongoing, right? So I did see police officers shoveling people out. I saw firemen shoveling people out. I seen everybody trying to help out. We were talking about the Boy Scouts, but the snow it was a lot of ice too, so we don't want to have our kids out on the road and things like that. So because I had thought the same thing, and I did have some residents that reached out, and we tried to get to all of them, the ones that, and I have their numbers saved. I told them to text me again. Again, it was a 10-year storm, so I mean that was some of it. A lot of it was ice. It was different. But again, I think everything is on the table to discuss and figure out for future. But I appreciate that.
Yeah, I just wanted to praise my neighbors and
appreciate
think
that.
that
We like
there
those
are
stories.
other people in our development that, gee, don't they have neighbors that could help them if there are emergencies like that?
And you know what we did? So when I was stopping at people's houses, the neighbors were coming out and helping out. I mean, people were stopping their cars. They were trying to help. They were taking out shovels. So people were bringing out water and trying to help each other. So that's what Washington Township's all about. I did see a lot of that going on. I saw the one thing I did want to bring up is that you had some people who were saying, Venmo me money, I'll put you on a list. Do not send anybody money. No. Do not prepay for anything. After the job is done, then you pay the person. So there was some of that stuff going on. So unfortunately, that's what some of these storms bring as well. They bring scammers out that were scamming people, thinking they were getting on a list, and no one ever showed up. So that was something that I didn't make a video about. I did want to talk about that. I thought that was important. I did hear that from a lot of people on Neighbors, and that's why those apps are so great, or those sites are so great, because you did have a lot of people that were letting people know about that.
Yes.
Is there a Colts Neck?
Colts Neck.
Yeah. Do you have a neighborhood Facebook page, or I don't know if you're on Facebook?
There is a Colts Neck web page, or not Facebook page.
Okay,
yes.
you do have
yeah.
one. We went in my development. I'm like right across the street from it.
Oh, okay.
We find that to be very helpful too.
Yeah.
Everyone communicating with each other, whose children are shoveling snow and what have you. So.
And again, I know there's, excuse me, the Hunt Club has a Facebook page for their neighborhood watch. Doesn't have anything to do with this, but I hear a lot of people over there, and they'll say, "I don't go on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook." So there are a lot of people who don't, even though Colts Neck has a Facebook page.
Yeah.
There are some who just don't go on there.
Yeah.
Makes it tough.
That's true.
There's sometimes there were emails too, like Heritage Valley has that people talk about things. So
I think Heritage Valley does a nice job.
Yeah, they got a good association.
Yeah.
Oh, they're over here in the meeting right now? Okay.
And we have a neighborhood watch also.
Okay. Right.
But keep in mind, Frank alluded to it, it's really important. Blizzard of 82. The ice storm of 90. Blizzard of 96, 30 years ago. had a hurricane, and we had 10,000 trees that fell over power lines, it would have been worse. Look at the storm we had, when, Frank, back in 2018, 17, that summer, that graduation. I was at the high school for my daughter's graduation. Almost got locked in there. I mean, that was it. We lost power, we lost communications. You're gonna blame us for that? I think we ought to really realize what we just went through. And it was an impossible storm for our roads department to keep up with. I don't care if we had 100, 200 people out there. That ice, you can't deal with it unless you got tanks, treads.
I
And
just,
people should be out anyway. Yeah, wait till you see that tax bill.
yeah, I just think it would be easier if people in a certain development would contact people in their own development.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Rather than go
that's up to
to
them.
township to.
We may be able to talk about something like that. I mean, we can try to do something like that. It's going to take some time, of course, and it's going to be, but we can talk about that. And there's nothing off the
Part
table.
of our conversation with Public Health.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's all on the table.
Okay.
This might be
Thank
a
you.
catalyst, Bob, getting your Colts Neck community together. 'Cause I know you've tried in the past and people have shown interest.
Yeah,
Even if it's something like emergency, like this month, it might be worth another second try.
yeah, I'm gonna, I keep trying.
Yeah.
I keep trying.
I can have those conversations with you, Mr. Davis. We could try to see what we could do to try to reach out some people in the development and see what we can do.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Good to see you. Thanks, Mr. Davis. Anyone else? Seeing none, can I get a motion to close to the public, please?
Brian has.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got to get seconds. One quick point, take me 2 seconds. One of the things that I'm sure you guys encounter, that I know I encounter with almost every phone call, is I pay $15,000 a year in property tax. I want to clear it right now. I just want to point out, Frank and I had asked our CFO, our assistant CFO, to run some numbers for us. Of the $15,000, the average, whatever the average household pays in Washington Township, $433 comes to municipal services annually. Trash, snow, grass cutting, vehicle maintenance for the police department, everything. Street light, less than $500. It's 3.59% of the total taxes paid per household. So whatever you pay in taxes, if it's $10,000, it's 3.59%. If it's $15,000, it's 3.59%. But the average works out to $433 per household. If I got the whole 15, you'd be able to eat off your streets after 10 minutes when the storm was done. I'd have flamethrowers. So I meant to mention that during the conversation. Jim put some time into that for this, and I wanted to just share that figure for everyone that takes that phone call, because I know that's the beginning of every conversation is how much I pay in tax.
Yeah.
We get less than 500 in our department. So
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. Anyone else looking to speak? Seeing none, can I get a motion to close to the public?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next council meeting will be February 25th at 2026 at 6 p.m. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?